Hello everyone, I'm back, and today I'm here to maximize your fear. Today we're taking a look at YouTube's darkest and most disturbing videos of all time. I, Maximum Fear, went to great lengths to bring you some of the darkest, disturbing YouTube videos that not many have seen. This video includes disturbing things caught on camera such as paranormal encounters, killers and murders, and other unexplainable phenomena. Viewer discretion is definitely advised because this might be my scariest video yet. So grab your popcorn and allow your fear to be maximized as we recap YouTube's most disturbing videos. YouTube, the most popular video sharing site in the entire world. With an average of almost 4 million new videos uploaded every single day, most of them are pretty normal. But hidden amongst these seemingly normal videos are the deeply disturbing ones. Ones that you may not want to see. And this one right here is exactly what I'm talking about. Now this YouTube channel in question and the videos they posted are fairly old. This happened all the way back 11 years ago. A random YouTube channel by the name of Found on the Tape would upload a series of 3 strange and cryptic videos, all with similar titles. But the scariest part is nobody knows who runs the channel and what the story is behind the scary videos. No one knows what it means, but some think it's run by a psychopath or a serial killer trying to give out hidden messages. Whatever the true story is, all I know is this footage is cursed. The first video uploaded to the channel was titled clip094.mp4, and this is the least weird out of all of the videos. Take a look. As you can see, it shows a dark silhouette of a man, it shows a cassette player, a creepy mask, and a bunch of random people. The dark black and white old-timey footage makes it even more off-putting to watch. And what the heck was going on with that mask? Now this footage was pretty disturbing, right? But just wait for the next one. Their next video was posted a while later with the title of clip095.mp4. Here's the footage found inside the video. There's just something so off-putting about this. From the creepy masked man and strange figures and creatures, this one is definitely chilling. But hidden inside this video is a secret coded message, and this is where the story gets even weirder. Online computer experts eventually decoded the message given in the video. When decoded, the message gave them an email address. This is when they decided to send an email to the address given. From the email, they then eventually received lots more cryptic messages. They then decoded those messages given in the email, and then it took them to a series of downloadable files. What was held inside of these files were said to be so gruesome that it was never released to the public. And the content is actually no longer available, so it looks like you and I will never know what secrets were held inside those mysterious files. This being said, there was also a third video that was later uploaded to the channel with the similar name of clip084.mp4, and it definitely seems demonic. Maybe the owner of the channel was a cult leader and was trying to lure other people to join through cryptic messages and footage. There are many theories on what this channel could have been, but it still remains a mystery. Some were quick to hypothesize that it was just a social experiment. Maybe someone just wanted to mess around and scare people. But there had to be a lot of work to go into this project. Editing, coming up with cryptic messages, and all that would take some time. And the channel is not even monetized, so why would someone go to this extent just for a social experiment? Judging by the eeriness of the footage captured in the videos, there has to be a more sinister backstory. A backstory we will probably never find out. iHustle is a YouTuber with 142,000 subscribers at the time of this video. His real name is Marcus and he resides in Jacksonville, Florida. What he does exactly is he goes around and mows and transforms people's overgrown properties for free. By doing this, he helps a lot of people and is loved by all. Most of his videos follow a similar pattern. He cuts the lawns and people are very appreciative of his work. But the video in question went much different. It all started when he was fixing up a vacant property. The property had been completely abandoned for some reason, so the yard and plants were super overgrown. It was vacant for around 7 whole months. He begins the video by talking about the property and what he sees, and this is what he says.
This is definitely one of the more creepy spots that I done cut. It's very creepy. It's vacant, and what attracted me to it was all of this. A couple creepy abandoned cars right there.
So it's obvious he's feeling creeped out by the property. He also makes it clear that it's in a very sketchy area in the hood, making it even more dangerous. Despite all the creepiness, he still decides to work on the property anyways. He works on the property for hours, mows the lawn, weed whacks, and cuts down trees and brush. But after a while, suddenly, this is when he would make a gruesome discovery.
What in the
He immediately calls the police because inside the abandoned truck was the badly decomposed body of a man. After seeing the dead body, he was obviously shocked, but the most disturbing thing is he was mowing and weed eating very close to this truck a lot of the time. He was just inches away from a dead body and he had no idea. Even at the beginning of the video, remember when he showed the cars and said, "A couple creepy abandoned cars right here." Just knowing there was a body inside that truck the entire time is chilling. Eventually the cops would show up and ask him a few questions regarding the situation, but eventually he left the scene and let the cops handle it. Days later, he found out more details and even spoke to the deceased man's mother on the phone. It turns out the remains belonged to a 29-year-old male, and he died of a drug overdose. According to iHustle, he was an apprentice electrician with aspirations of becoming a firefighter. The man had been reported missing for over 200 days. Marcus says he was glad he was able to help and finally provide the family with answers. Even though Marcus seems to handle the situation pretty well and doesn't seem too disturbed by the whole thing, I'm sure it most certainly did freak him out a lot. People who have encounters like these a lot of times get deeply affected and need to seek help. Stumbling upon a dead body in real life is something no one wants to ever encounter, making this one of YouTube's darkest videos. The following video is definitely one of YouTube's darkest, and you'll know why by the end of this segment. In order to get the full effect of the video uploaded to YouTube by Chase the WX, you have to know the full backstory. So here we go. Fairdale, a small rural town in Illinois, would experience something insanely scary. But the scariest part is the video that one of the residents recorded and what happened to him afterwards. On this day, the weather forecast called for very severe thunderstorms that would last virtually all day and night. These thunderstorms were supposed to be capable of producing multiple tornadoes. Meteorologists even estimated that the tornado could potentially be one of the biggest in state history. Meteorologists also warned residents that these storms could be deadly, and they strongly recommended that they all evacuate. But to the people who don't decide to evacuate, as they usually say, they warn them to make sure they have somewhere safe to go in case the storm gets too bad. However, Fairdale is a town that experiences bad weather like this frequently. Tornadoes come through often, but the residents usually just deal with it and ride the weather out. So that's what a lot of them decided to do in this situation. But this storm continued to grow in size and was seeming to get just worse and worse, worrying the town. Once the evening time came around, the weather stations were practically forcing the people to evacuate. They began to realize that this storm is not going to be a normal storm. At approximately 7:15 p.m., this record-breaking 1-mile-wide tornado officially touched down. It had wind speeds of 200 miles per hour, however it moved freakishly slow, making it way more deadly. Because this tornado was a mile wide and had 200-mile-per-hour winds but was moving so slow, this would cause so much more damage. And the tornado was heading right towards Fairdale. It was at this time Clem Schultz, a resident of Fairdale, recognized that the tornado was moving right towards him. He and his wife Jerry Schultz had decided not to evacuate. And I'm sure at this moment, as they looked into the eyes of this beast of a tornado, they regretted their decision. But Clem thought it looked like the tornado was gonna miss them, but oh how he was wrong. But he thought for sure they would at least lose power, so he decided he would make his way up to his attic to retrieve some lanterns he kept up there. But Clem was 84 years old, so he couldn't move very fast. By the time he finally reached the attic, he heard the loud, intense sounds of the tornado nearing closer. He then peered outside of the small window in his attic, only to see the tornado was barreling right towards him. He knew he didn't have enough time to make it back downstairs into the basement. Figuring that these were most likely the last moments of his life, he pulled out his phone and recorded this haunting video. As you can see, the tornado absolutely ripped through his house and virtually every other house in the neighborhood. Miraculously, out of some miracle, Clem eventually woke up in the middle of his collapsed house. His house was completely unrecognizable and he was covered by rubble. Some of his neighbors eventually found him and removed all of the rubble and debris from around him and pulled him out. He was in lots of pain, but he wasn't too badly injured considering the situation, as he only suffered a crushed vertebrae. But it was at this moment when his physical pain would turn to emotional pain. Once he was freed, he stood up and was just standing there, and one of his neighbors looked at him and said, "Clem, don't look down." Clem confusedly asked why, and then in turn, the neighbor said, "Because your wife is down there and she's dead." Now I found the following disturbing video on YouTube and TikTok. If you guys would like to see me do a TikTok's darkest video, let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, let's get into this one. Ghosts and paranormal possessions have been topics that people are curious about. There's something intriguing about the unknown of this world, making people want to find out more. And that's what led me to this footage. The footage happened recently, coming from a security camera set up in a teenage girl's bedroom. The footage was taken late at night. Judging by the timestamp, it happened on February 1st, 2022 at 11:39 p.m. Now, unlike most of the clips in this video, this one doesn't have much of a backstory, but man, it is scary. Take a look. The girl awakes in the middle of the night and does a strange series of movements. She seems to slam back down in the bed abnormally fast and also moves her hands in a way that doesn't seem possible. Some think she could have just done this in her sleep, others think she had to be possessed. Now, sleepwalking is a terrifying thing. The fact that someone can wake up out of their sleep and walk around and fully function while their brain is dead asleep is terrifying. It doesn't really make sense how it's possible, leading to others coming up with theories of their own. Some people believe sleepwalking actually means you're possessed by a paranormal entity and they're guiding you around, making you do the things that you're doing. Could this be what happened to the girl in this footage? Was a ghost causing her to behave creepily like that? Whatever the explanation is, one thing's for sure, the footage is creepy to watch. Now, I did a clip on this before, way in the past, a long time ago when I first began this channel. Now, a lot of you may know the scary storytelling YouTuber MrBallin. MrBallin has almost 8 million subscribers and is one of the biggest storytellers on the platform. His videos consist of scary paranormal stories as well as crime stories. People know him for his amazing storytelling, but not many remember his first ever YouTube video. His first ever video was called "What I Saw in My Room Still Haunts Me." The 40-minute long video consists of him telling an absolutely bone-chilling story of a time where he encountered a ghost. He had one of the most convincing ghost encounters I've ever heard of. And by the way he tells the story, you can tell he's uneasy and deeply disturbed even just recalling what happened to him that night. Here's the clip of me explaining it and some of the footage. It still sticks with me to this day. It's just a crazy, terrifying story. Like, I've never heard a story like this before. And he tells it so well, and you can just see the fear on his face, and you can see he's genuine. You can see that he's not faking this story. I'm really good at telling when videos are fake. There's a lot of videos that I'll watch and I'll be like, oh, it's obviously fake. But this one here, I watched it, and I had no doubt in my mind that this was a 100% true story. It is a story about him going up to a cabin with his buddy after his buddy's dad had just recently passed. He stays up there for 3 nights, and the first night, he wakes up in the middle of the night, and he sees a huge, tall, dark shadow figure slowly enter his room and floats into his room, and he's watching it the whole time, and he's frozen with fear. He just watches it as it turns real quick over to his buddy, and it leans over his buddy, and it bows down into him and falls down through him into the floor. This happens all 3 of the nights. He did not get like any sleep the entire trip. At the end of the whole trip, he tells his friend's mom what he had just experienced and told her all about his experience. And she said that she saw it too, and that she thinks it's her husband. MrBallin, ever since that experience, he has never gone back to that cabin, and he doesn't really hang out with those people anymore. It affected him for the rest of his life. And that's why it's called What I Saw in My Room Still Haunts Me, because it still haunts him to this day. And it even haunts me, man. That was a freaking crazy story. But if you guys want to listen to this whole story yourselves, it's on his channel, MrBallin. You can go ahead and search it up and watch it. But obviously, like I said earlier, don't leave me yet. I'm going to go ahead and show you some highlights from it. If you want to know further, go ahead and watch his video. Shout out MrBallin for this horrifying true story. Here are the highlights of his story.
So it walks down the aisle, and it's right next to me, and it does another quick movement, but it's facing away from me now. And it bows onto and then down through Nick's bed and disappears. It walks into the room, goes right past the foot of my bed, and I'm, again, petrified. It turns away from me and does the same thing it did the night before, folds onto Nick and disappears into the ground. At the end of it, or towards the end, she just kind of stops me. She's like, John, I heard it last night. It's just my husband. And I was like, no.
A man named Erwin Saunders would upload a very strange and unexplainable video to YouTube. In the video, the man claims that he is able to communicate with some sort of mysterious forest creatures. He talks for quite some time and attempts to summon one of these strange beings. This goes on for a while, and just when it seems like nothing creepy is going to happen, this happens.
Oh, right, I've been spotted. Looks like I'm stealing. Put it back again where it was. I don't know if he's still there. Oh, he's sort of mulling around.
In the footage, you can see a strange and very small, unearthly creature peering over the cliff's edge right behind him, looking down at him. This footage is definitely really weird, and I've never seen anything like it before. Does this man really have the power to summon strange mythical beings in the forests? Or is this all just a hoax?
Gather.
Second, let's go. Oh, God.
It's starting to blow.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I have slides on.
Yeah, you're good. It's good.
Look at all the gold.
You don't play with
Oh gosh.
Smokey the Bear's over there.
Oh gosh. Alright, I think that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, go ahead and smash the like button's mom. Let's aim for 2,000 likes for another one of these YouTube's darkest videos video. And if you want to get to know me more, or you want to see more of my spooky content, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram, MaxwellFear, and you can go ahead and follow me on TikTok, MaximumFear. And be sure to subscribe to the channel because only 4% of you guys who watch my videos are subscribed. And be sure to hit that bell as well so you don't miss when I upload. Alright, I hope your fear was maximized. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.